a number of stars have actually lost their homes.
Right.
Like not just evacuated, like actually lost. Right now, it's looking like, and here's just a quick rundown. Mandy Moore, Anna Faris, Paris Hilton, Jeff Bridges, Billy Crystal,
Jeff
Spencer
Bridges,
and
I
Heidi
didn't know.
Montag. Yeah, Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag, Carrie Elwes, James Woods.
We don't
Diane
know about
Warren.
James Woods because he was live tweeting
was
and
talking
showing
about
clips
it, yeah.
that he was evacuating. You could see down the line, you could see the
Right.
smoke and everything. But I don't know
Ricky
if
Lake,
yeah, she lost her house.
record producer Lou Adler, Adam
talked
Brody,
about-
and Leighton Meester.
Did you mention
Eugene Levy?
that was surprising too?
Yeah.
I don't know if he lost his house. I know he left, but I don't know if Eugene Levy lost his
From
house.
what I heard, he lost it, but TMZ's reporting on it. They've been reaching out to representatives to get the full story. John Goodman and Anthony Hopkins are the other rounding it out. So
Man.
I know, and it's like I love, it sucks for anybody to lose their home, but like, Anthony Hopkins, I watch like Twitter and not Twitter,
I love
but,
John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman's great.
John
This
Fuck
is
what you say.
this
King
hitting
Ralph
everybody.
is an excellent movie. Go ahead.
King Ralph's great, but yeah, no, it's
Did
just
you
showing
mention
like
Paris Hilton?
Paris Hilton, yeah.
All right, so there's a clip. Paris Hilton was watching the live news as her house was finding out that her house was gone, right? And she posted that clip. She also posted a thing online talking about, her family's okay, but they lost their house. There's so many memories. Now, as a human, you feel horrible that people
Sure.
are going through this, and you're glad that their family's okay.
Right.
But certain celebrities or certain famous people, because I won't say some of these people are celebrities,
Right.
it's hard to feel any compassion for when their whole career has just been them being pieces of shit, both for their reality shows and in real life, right? Like
You're talking about Mandy Moore. I get it.
I actually like her.
I know, me too.
By the way, I only learned recently she's the voice of Rapunzel in the
Yes.
Disney movie.
Yeah.
My kids started watching that, and I was like, "Oh, that's Mandy Moore."
and
I wasn't aware.
And her house is one of the ones that happened in Altadena. So like, yeah, it's not just like the Pacific Palisades, Malibu area where like some of the richer neighborhoods, like you're hitting some of the, like you said, Altadena and some of those other areas.
A lot of prominent neighborhoods, but you start wondering, like, okay, I'm glad they're not dead. I'm glad their family's okay. But
Right.
they've had histories of being pieces of shit, and like, how sorry am I supposed to feel for them? Now, if you go to the internet hates everybody. They either feel bad for everybody, they love everybody, or they absolutely hate everybody.
It's their time to shine to be dick.
Paris Hilton's very polarizing. People like her because they just think because she's famous, you have to like her. People like her because of all that legal work she was doing about border schools or something, boarding schools. The mistreatment in private schools and what have you. And like it went to Congress and got bills and laws and stuff passed and everything.
Yeah, she was just in front of Congress.
Commendable.
Like, the last 3 months or so.
Commendable and good that she did something with all of that. Because, you saw her in her
She could've
teens and her
disappeared.
20s. She was a garbage human being.
She really was.
And then, people grow, so you got to give the benefit of the doubt. She posts online. Here's what's happening. Family's okay. She has an organization or a group called 1111, which I used to see like young girls and influencers and stuff post photos of like if they're in their car and the clock said 1111 and like what that was supposed to mean. Oh, it's the wishing hour or something. I still don't fully understand what it means, nor do I care to know the explanation. But she has a company called 1111 that's working with nonprofits and trying to help everything. So I'm reading this whole thing online, and the first comment below it had me laughing because it was our pal Cardiff Electric. Okay?
Of course it is.
So Cardiff's thing here, she says this whole thing, and on the bottom, if you can't read it, she's pouring her heart out about her family's okay, they lost their stuff, they're heartbroken, but they want to help people, and she feels terrible for everybody else is losing their stuff. Cardiff at the bottom,
it's really a nice post. Yes,
writes, "That's hot?" with a question mark. It's like that fucking potato.
Goddamn potato.
He's always on. So
funny.
Bravo to you, my pal.
Yeah, that's a good
Electric. That was very funny. Gabby's saying Paris Hilton just posted a video of Instagram her going through her burn. That's
yeah. I mean, you don't.
It's all right.
It's yes, you hate these people in certain cases, but you still feel bad.
This walks a line too. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but this walks a line where all right, we know you're devastated. These horrible things. do you really need to go and walk through and show the remains of your life at this location? She has other locations, so she's not going to be homeless. But
this early on, like this, maybe not so much.
I haven't watched it, but this seems a bit like, okay, now you're doing it for attention.
Yeah, like let's move on and sort your stuff out, and then maybe whatever.
It's not like you're back at your house. Oh no, she said there's corny background music. All right. Now
you have to look at it.
Now we'll look at it later and just say this was desperately for likes and views and whatever. But it's not like if you went back to your house to see the charred remains or whatever is there, and there just happened to be news crews or paparazzi and they come over to talk to you. I wasn't giving a guided tour of what was left of my home. They happened to catch me while here. And if you see them upset going through the room, that's different. When you're shooting it with your fucking iPhone and you're going like this was once my bedroom,
Yeah.
Or however she's doing it. I'll give the benefit of the doubt, but from these early descriptions, it doesn't sound promising.
I was going to say Spencer Pratt did one where he was walking there. He's like, you just lost your house in a fire. Your family's lost their houses in their fire. Of course, what do you got to do? You got to get bagels. And he's showing a bagel bag. And he goes, of course, I'm devastated. I'm not processing. And I'm like, dude, you shouldn't have posted this. Like, stop being a douchebag.
He really did that? I thought you were 100%. Riffing.
No, he did it.
Oh fuck! I never liked him.
He opened a bag and he's got a bag of bagels and schmear and all this stuff.
What was this TV show they were from? The OC?
I don't remember.
It was an MTV show.
I never watched any of that shit.
No, I didn't watch it, but I knew he was from.
No, I know. I didn't. Fuck but yeah, him. It was bad. He did that.
I got it. Here it is.
Like, you had to put the music on. Come on.
Yeah. And if this is even her doing it, what if this is an assistant or somebody she sent out there to do this?
Like, from what I could tell, can you go back just a smidge? Okay, try going from there real quick. She's panning over. The house is still on fire.
Yeah, it's still smoldering.
How did she get this footage? Most times they won't let you close to this stuff if they think a flare up could happen.
Right.
I don't think she took
this is fucking tone deaf and terrible too.
That is so stupid.
Gittle's saying it's still worth more than my current apartment. That is
You're not wrong.
That is a fair
the land
point.
alone is probably worth most people's houses.
Yeah. You went too far, and I think that you're going to start losing any kind of sympathy.
Shouldn't have posted that with the weird music. And again, I saw fire. There's no way they're letting you over there. Right. I don't know how you got that footage. She didn't take that.
Let's talk about some of the people who were affected with this. I'm not going to get into unknown people that I've worked with or what have you, because that's not my job to put their business on the air unless they asked us to, or needed help for something. But the celebrities that put stuff out there, we had people that had been on this show, acquaintances or friends, what have you. Mm-hmm. Do you remember? You weren't on the show when we had this guy on.
No, but I knew he did show up. I know of him because of that.
His name is Gore. He currently he does movie stuff, movie reviews, commentary. He does a lot of stuff with Nerdrotic. I think back in the day he was doing stuff with G4 when that was on on NBC, or an NBC owned that network. And Chris has done our show several times. Always been very nice and a cool guy. Chris is in the Pasadena area. And he put this video out here the day all the fires were really going on. Now, in this video, you don't see the fires, but it's pitch black because of the smoke, and you can see the hurricane-style winds. Take a look at this here. This is his backyard.
Wow.
This tree sounds like it's about to go. Holy shit.
Look, they're just bending in half.
Yeah. It's like we're watching the hurricane footage from the summer.
Yeah.
It's
down in Florida.
I've never seen anything like this in all my years in California, so holy cow. Monster storm.
And this is
shit. Oh shit.
You could hear it.
Yeah. This is right before people really fully understood the effects of what was happening with the fire.
Right.
So anyway, yeah. A little bit here, yeah. So he had this happening. Now, today he did somebody else's, this guy, I forgot his name, but it's called The Benny Show. And he did this podcast giving an update of what was happening. Did he evacuate? What was going on? Check this out.
Chris, I just want to check in. Are you still evacuated? Are you and your family safe in your home?
Yeah, everyone's safe. I was told to evacuate to a convention center 3 blocks from where I live. So I'm still here. But the water in Pasadena is contaminated, not useful. And the air quality is the worst. So I am headed to Orange County right after this. So get away from LA.
Okay. So you can't drink the water and you can't breathe the air.
No, not where I am currently. Yeah. And no end in sight. So we'll see.
Yeah. He's evacuating his place. Even if your place misses the fire, it's unlivable.
Yeah, there's nothing to drink. I mean, I'm sure like any major disaster, hurricane, whatever, all the stores have been ransacked. I mean, there's going to be nothing you can do other than just get out of there.
Right. Our pal Kevin Smith had to evacuate his house because where he lives is by Runyon Canyon, and just below that is the valley where Hollywood and all. He wound up leaving. Let's see if I can. There's only a small piece of footage in here. He wound up, as they were evacuating, they got in the car. He got out of the car, got out, took some footage of the fire on the top of the mountain before they left. And he thought that he wasn't going to have a house to come back to, that it was all gone. And I'll let him tell the rest. Look at that. That's his driveway right there on the left. But you're just looking up. There's the mountain, and you see that.
That's so close.
That's something like out of a horror movie, like a meteor landed there, or volcanoes blowing up, or something. Yeah. All right. You saw that there.
I ain't never seen anything like it in my life, a wall of flame. When I pulled away from this house, I turned around, shot footage, and I was like, that's it. Like, unbelievable. And those firefighters saved our home, saved our neighborhood. I cannot thank those cats enough. My heart goes out to everybody who's been adversely affected by this. Hang in there, kids. I don't know that it's over yet, but so far I don't smell any smoke. I don't see any flames. And that's because the LA Fire Department, all the help they've gotten. Thank you so much from me, from Jen, from the dogs. Harley, she don't live here, but she's safe too. Thank you.
Yeah, he was telling like, hey, like, you know, they literally like are angels from above, like literally like they were flying planes over that area where his house is and just dropping water from wherever reservoir. People's pools were being just drained so they can just drop it on these things. Yeah, it's nuts.
Our new friend who does the Aryahungry videos, right? I'm trying to get him on, but he's dealing with some because he lives out there right now. Put out a video. He did a little makeshift cooking video where he made these high-end sandwiches. He made about 100 sandwiches and wrapped them all up, threw them. He goes, I feel bad, they're in garbage bags, because he had no way to carry them. But he had these big sandwiches all in tin foil, all in these garbage bags, loaded in his car, and then was documenting as he was trying to get through checkpoints because he wanted to donate sandwiches to the fire departments and the ambulance people out there. So like, he didn't show the footage of the fires. He didn't show the footage of the people he was talking to until a little bit later. It was always on him, and you hear him talking with people, and he's like, they're like, you can't go through there. And he goes, I know. And he goes, but he's like, I have a whole bunch of food and stuff in the back. And he's like, all I just want to do is give it to like the police chief or whoever's in charge at the moment, give it to them so they have it to give to these guys. That's all I want to do. They let him through. He's handing out sandwiches to everybody. One guy, even one of the fire guys, recognized him. So, you know, he showed that a little bit, but he did something nice, and he goes, yeah, this isn't what I normally do. And he goes, but this isn't normal times. Do something nice. Like, he went into his character, but doing something nice. You're seeing a lot of those things, people posting resources and numbers and what have you. So I'm
because
like,
the way the internet's painting this is that everyone's going to attack everybody else. People are either upset that it's all happening to like celebrities. Everyone's trying to make it political, and right now is not the time for that. Right now is just trying to figure this out, let it, get taken care of, and then when you need to point fingers, you can point fingers, and then we can solve this later. But it's just ridiculous how quickly everyone's so quick to be just negative and just put so much vitriol out there, and it's kind of like, stay off the internet, like just got to stay off.
I'm thinking this is all well and good, and then right before the show you tell me and go, hey, did you see the Whitney Cummings video? I said, no, I did not. What happened? He's like, well, she put out a video, she's upset, she's going to lose her her house and everything. I go, all right, that's what happened. And he goes, yeah, but it's not being well received by people because of what she's concerned about. Oh, okay. That's as far as I know, is what you told me. I have the video here. I have not watched this. I'm watching it for the first time. You've seen this. Is there anything else that I'm not explaining here?
No, it's perfect. Like, yeah, she was near one of the fire. I don't know which fire she's close to. Right. But she is very concerned. I mean, she's
maybe one of those in Los Angeles.
Emotional. Yeah, she's between one of the first, 5 fires. But yeah, she's in the middle of about to evacuate her residence here, and she's very emotional. And yeah, she kind of walks you through it.
So I am evacuating my home, and
it helps to have captions, by the way. I appreciate her at least.
It really
that.
Does. Yes.
Now, if she didn't grammar or spell check the captions, that I hate, because that's lazy. People put their videos through those programs, and they're like, they didn't say that. That's not the words that are showing up on the screen here. And then everyone, when you complain about it in the comments, people goes, it's not that big a deal. Yes, it is. It really is. It's terrible. All right, continuing on.
It's so hard to leave the podcast studio behind. I know that's sounds insane, but I have everything, like my son's birth certificate, but just to leave all this, podcast studio is such a big deal to me because it connected me to so many of you guys. And just to give you an idea, this is the podcast studio, and then I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, there's
you can see the fires, you can smoke.
Close,
All right, hang on. Other people have talked, James Woods talked about, he's going to lose his house and he's not happy and everything, but he's not sitting there crying on the screen. Even if he was, I think people would be compassionate about it and saying, Jesus Christ, the guy's going to lose his house. Everybody would be devastated if you're going to lose everything you've worked for and you own and what have you. He's not even worried about the house. The podcast studio is the big concern.
The throwaway was I've got my son's birth certificate. Sure, I've got all the things that are important, but man, I'm really bummed out. I'm about to lose this podcast studio.
Adam Carolla, and I know it wasn't him. He has a team for the Adam Carolla show, whatever, posted a photo. He had to set up. He got evacuated. He set up in a hotel because he still has a show to put out. Sure. So he was doing his show, live streaming from him sitting at a little table in his hotel room doing this. Mm-hmm. Like how we do when we do live events, stuff like that. It's fun once in a while when you don't do it normally. It's easy to do. Yeah, you turn on the microphones, you have a camera. It's what you do in that situation. He's talking about his experiences of trying to be a fireman, how he got shut out from being a fireman. He had to wait 7 years to take the test. All that. And by the way, people who were giving him shit about that, I guess it was fact checked and it turned out to be 100% true. Yeah. What he was saying, that he had to wait 7 years, but other people who were not as qualified or fit a certain demographic got to apply that week. So he's complaining about that, which led into, mishandling it by the local and the state government levels. He went to go look at something. There was fire damage all around. He goes, this photo here is 300 feet from my podcast studio. Right. He was showing the damage. Now, anybody who has these nice, posh studios, I'm sure you'd be upset that you'd lose it, but
sure. I mean, these things can get expensive.
Yeah, I get that. But he's showing the damage. He's like, this was near my studio and everything there. It's devastating. You don't come off crying like this, my kid's going to lose their house or that kind of thing. You're going to lose your podcast studio. Now, that might not have been the intent of how she's saying this, but it definitely, I see what you're saying, how people can look at this and this is coming off.
Oh, they were raking her over the coals over this.
Right.
Because it kind of sounds like she's not crying. She's kind of doing that like that fake. I'm really sad about this, but there's no tears. Her eyes look red, but obviously she's going through some stuff. I get it. I'm not taking away from the fact that, you know, this is an important thing. This is happening.
Right.
There's a lot going on, but you're making this entire video about your podcast studio. I know.
Which, by the way, she stole or she bought Monica's kitchen from Friends, because that's what that whole background looks like there. Look at that.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't look like she's in Monica's kitchen.
Yeah, well, she hosts that Friends game show on Max, I think. So, like, I get it.
It's such a big deal to me.
But here's the thing, like, you're losing a studio. Sure, a microphone isn't that expensive. You can do this anywhere. I hate to pull back the curtain. It doesn't take much to do a podcast nowadays. Like, so she could still do this at any point with the cheapest of equipment and still put out a quality product if she does it right. It's such a weird thing to focus on in this video and make such a big deal.
Right.
Like, it really is. All
right. Continuing on.
To me, to so many of you guys. And just to give you an idea, like, this is the podcast studio. And then
this is the podcast studio. Remember when I had the hook to a girl here? Remember we all enjoyed that episode? This is where it happened.
And I was so connected to you guys.
Look at my window. There's a mountain.
Terrible.
Fluffy white clouds.
I know.
So it's pretty close, you know. I don't know what I'm gonna lose, but it's like weirdly, like you really find out what matters to you when you have to evacuate. I'm not taking the camera.
Oh my God. You find out what matters to you?
Right.
You know what? All right. I would get upset with, right? If she's talking about find out what matters to you. Even a house is something to be upset about. A house, your home, you have every right to say it's not just material things. It's your home.
Right.
It's not like you had a bad car accident, but you're happy your family survived. These are material things. That, you know, that line.
I lost my 90 Civic.
The material things, we can get another car. We can do all this stuff. You can't get another house that easy, right? So this is one of those situations, where you're like, I don't know what we're going to do. You're going to be displaced. Would you become homeless? You don't know, right? Mm-hmm. If you're in your house and you go, you understand what really is important, it hits you, the things that matter to you. If you had pointed to like the door frame,
old family photos that are not you can't duplicate because you don't have digital copies of.
But besides, I mean, you could take those photos with you, right?
Sure.
But if you're looking at your house and you say, like at a door frame, you go, look at this. This is where my kid grew up, and you have the notches for the years and everything like that. If you were telling a story like that, that hits at home. Anyone can relate to that. And you go, oh my God. And he's like, I don't want to lose my house. Yeah, nobody wants to lose their house. You get it. You're talking about, if I said my glowing Slimer over there, like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to replace that thing there. My $1 million belt.
They don't sell those anymore.
Yeah. What am I going to do? I mean, we just got the studio to look, by the way, I didn't talk about the new studio because it's not fully done yet, but there's more coming to fix in there. But it's just like, it's like putting out here. It's like that Back to the Future poster that's signed by the entire cast. You don't know how long it took me to get the entire cast to sign that entire poster. Well, you can take that with you. You could rebuild all this stuff. You're crying about your podcast studio. None of that is something anybody can relate to.
Well, here's a quote from Billy Crystal, who has lost his home.
Right.
He goes, Janice, his wife, and I have lived in our home since 1979. We've raised our children and grandchildren here. Every inch of our house was filled with love, beautiful memories that can't be taken away. We're heartbroken, of course, but with our love of our children and friends, we'll get through this. That is a legit emotional response to losing your home that you've had for, I'm 45 years of making memories with family, your children, your grandchildren, all your memory, everything's gone. And she's talking about her podcast studio.
I've been doing this for 2 years.
She's talking about a $400 microphone. It's not a good look. I know she probably is meaning well, and she's emotional, and this is her first response to that. It is the worst look. Yeah. Just the worst.
But it's like weirdly, like you really find out what matters to you when.
That line is the biggest problem.
It hurts.
So really far. Hurts. I mean, we still got a little bit more to go. I don't know what else she says.
Right.
You really find what means. Wait, let me get it again.
Weirdly, like you really find out what matters to you when.
Find out what matters to you.
You have to evacuate. I'm not taking the camera.
To evacuate. I'm not taking the cameras.
First thing she says.
Now imagine that's the typo. It's really camels, is what she said. She has 4 camels in the back there. It's like, look, that's unnecessary, but I would be upset if the camels died from a fire.
Well, yeah, she has to bring the camels to replace her brother's car.
Right.
She's Sala from Indiana Jones.
Taking little trinkets and like stuff that you guys gave me.
All the little tchotchkes that are on the back wall here.
Stuff that you guys gave me.
The stuff you guys gave me?
My son drew this picture in 1st grade.
No.
Fuck that. I need this, like you said, a Slimer that glows in the dark.
Yeah, something like...
At shows and...
My door of radio station bumper stickers, I can't take out with me.
She's carrying a door bumper sticker. She got it off the hinges.
It's got old punk bands. I'll never get another No Effects sticker like that.
You know how hard it is to get the CBGB t-shirts?
The coexist thing by the doorknob, the Bad Religion sticker on both sides of the door.
Look,
to cover where my boyfriend punched the door in anger.
Blinky,
yeah,
and this Duff can. That's it.
All right, fire's coming near you. How many Lego sets are you running out with before you realize that your son's still sitting there playing the Switch?
You know how expensive Rivendell was? Come on, of course I'm gonna grab that first. And it comes in 3 parts, so I can have each kid grab a section. Run out with like Rivendell. The one thing I did see before we go more into her is Steve Guttenberg is out there.
I saw the clip of him trying to get into cars to move them off the highway.
So yeah, he's trying to move cars out of the road and the highway to help the fire officials do that. Really great thing. A news crew came up to him and interviewed, and they walk up to him and go, "Sir, can I get your name, please?" And he goes, "Steve Guttenberg." And he goes, "Do you live around here? Or you do?" The guy interviewing him had no idea who Steve Guttenberg was.
That's
and I was
fine.
like, fuck it. I know, but that kind of sucks. Like, it's Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's like,
but here's the thing. He wasn't doing a press tour. He was doing something nice and humane. If they didn't know who he is, who the fuck cares? Leave the guy alone. I know, it just felt weird. Now, if they were talking to somebody, hold on. If they were talking to somebody else and Steve Guttenberg's over there moving cars,
talking to
that, the car goes up on 2 wheels like in the first Police Academy when he's driving in the parking lot and slides it in between the 2 cars. Now, if that happened, fucking Steve Guttenberg is a legend.
Greatest. But yeah, he was just telling people to, if you're going to abandon your car, we get it. Leave the keys in there so we can move it out of the way for fire officials. He's doing a great thing. Like, that is the complete opposite of like, this is my house, it burnt down, or talking about your, your podcast studio. So yeah, you're getting a really wide spectrum of like the celebrity or, the people affected and how they're reacting to it.
All right,
I'll find that Spencer Pratt video and I'll send it over to you later.
Let's continue with Whitney here.
Oh, she's squeezing the tears out. Hold on. Well, except she's not. Like, she's not even squeezing tears out.
To be fair, she's had an enormous amount of plastic surgery. She might not be able to.
She can't get them out of her tear ducts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So yeah, that was not very well received. People were really kind of, because I think she posted this on TikTok, and of course, people were not too happy with that take on what she's going to be losing in this fire if it does indeed get to her house.